Governor Matt Bevin is up against Attorney General Andy Beshear. Beshear could win, and Republicans got a little bit nervous. This is in Kentucky. Governor Matt Bevin, Democratic Attorney General Andy Beshear has run a solid campaign. Bevin has been sort of like freaking out a little bit. Beshear is going to have to run up the score in the cities of Louisville and Lexington, maybe steal a little bit of that rural support. This is a story of America in many respects. Rural versus urban with a lot of alcohol. That's basically it, Kentucky. And so here is Donald Trump campaigning for Governor Matt Bevin, and he gets a little sidetracked when he's there supposedly supporting Governor Matt Bevin. He starts talking about himself. Can you imagine?
People, take the people. We defeated ISIS. When I took over 3 years ago, when I took over, ISIS was all over.
So he wants to make it clear to you. Go backwards. He wants to make it clear to you that when he says we, he means I. But he knows that he has to say we. And he wants to make it clear. So he's we, I, same thing.
The royal we.
This is a royal we. But he wants to make sure he can't just say we and have it be implied that he's talking about I. He just needs to remind you, we, I. Incidentally, the T-shirts are in the background. Read the transcript. If we had our store, we would do a read the transcript. For reals. That's what we do.
ISIS, when I took over 3 years ago, when I took over, ISIS was all over. I defeated ISIS. You know, I didn't even know to what extent. I was watching the other night the great Lou Dobbs, and he said when Trump took over, President Trump, he used to say, Trump is a great president. Then he said, Trump is the greatest president since Ronald Reagan. Then he said, no, Trump is an even better president than Ronald Reagan. And now he's got me down as the greatest president in the history of our country, including George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. Thank you.
Thank you for saying that. Oh, wait, I said it. No, but thank me.
I love the part where
Thank we.
They start clapping for Reagan, which is like mandatory Republican cult behavior, and he's still got a little bit of like, wait, no, don't worry about that guy. Wait for it. Don't get distracted with Reagan. Overrated.
I like also at the end where he goes like, better than George Washington and all of them. Forget it. I can't believe it. I can't believe you said that. This is, incidentally, last week, let's check in with Lou Dobbs, who is like Benjamin Butts. His hair just keeps getting darker and darker.
Benjamin Button.
Benjamin Button, whatever.
Butts.
Whatever.
Sure.
And here he is. This is the thing. Lou Dobbs has got his finger on the pulse of who Donald Trump is. That's why we know we can trust Donald Trump when he says that Lou Dobbs is the greatest president ever lived.
You mentioned the first person singular. This is a president who seldom uses the expression. I can remember State of the Union addresses by Obama in which you heard the first person singular throughout, 100 plus times. President Trump is truly the president of we. He uses that first person plural throughout his campaign rallies, throughout his speech, everyday speech, if a president can have everyday speech.
Well, you know, he's doing that because he's doing this for the right reasons. He got involved with this not because he needed the job. Frankly, far from it. He knew what would come with it. He knew the viciousness of the other side. As I talk about in the book, the last thing he said to me,
book again?
Triggered, because we do definitely trigger the libs.
Because you're a very sensitive guy.
Yeah, I am a sensitive guy, and
there you go. That is super, super, super creepy. Those guys explaining Donald Trump, and I got to say again, I've said this before. I have seen this before in Hollywood, when you get a guy who's lost a considerable amount of weight, like Donald Trump Jr. seems to have, and has a tremendous amount of energy. I've seen
Must
that.
be from all the exercise.
It suggests to me he's on some type of Hollywood fitness program. So there it is. Donald Trump, we, and the greatest president in the history of the world.